Welcome to Book Club Preview. Today we're looking at a new book, The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. And this is actually one of my favorite books to read. The audiobook with Neil Gaiman narrating it and the full cast production, both are fantastic. But looking at the book, chapter 1, How Nobody Came to the Graveyard. And this book is a little spooky, but not too spooky. So it starts off with the man Jack. If you have the book, there's just a picture of a knife with blood on the knife. And the man Jack is going through the house after he had just killed the mother and the father and the older brother or sister. I can't remember which. And now he just has one more person to finish the job, the baby. And so he's going around looking and trying to find the baby, and he sees the crib and he pulls back the blanket and there's just like a teddy bear or pillow or something. There is no child. So he starts to look around to try to find where this little toddler could have been. So we say baby, toddler. It's like 1, maybe 2 years old, maybe 3. No, I don't think 3. Probably like 1. And the baby's gone, so he's going around looking for it, puts the knife away. And the child is actually gone. And the child wanted to get out of its crib and go walk around, and he went outside while the Mad Jack is killing people. The baby's going out and walking outside. Baby doesn't know. And the baby goes up a hill. And so the child is going up a hill, and he goes, slips between the bars and goes into a graveyard. And in the graveyard, he sees kind of a plump, older woman. And for us, we wouldn't be able to see her because she's a ghost or a spirit, but the child does. And the child's like looking at her and asking to be held or to be touched or something. And the woman sees him and is like, "What? Oh my goodness! What's their baby here for?" And there's a little accent. So if you listen to the audiobook, you can kind of hear in this book there are 2,000 years between like the dead for the dead people. And so they have different styles of talking. And so the Owenses, I think, have been dead for like 300 years or something. And so they have kind of this old British style way to talk. But the wife calls for the husband, and the husband says, "Oh, it's a baby, but it's a living baby, so that's not our job." And then the woman says, "I know it's a baby, and it's a living baby, but it's a baby that's talking and touching and holding me." And while they're trying to discuss what to do with this baby, this spirit goes, "Ah! He's trying to kill my baby!" Now, the Owenses are a little freaked out about this, even though they're kind of ghosts or spirits or whatever. This lady is a fresh, wailing, crying spirit. So it's not like their kind of spirit or ghost. And they see like there's this woman and this man and this other like small kid. And the woman starts saying, "He's trying to kill my baby." And Miss Owen says, "Don't worry, we're going to protect your baby." And they end up making kind of a deal where Miss Owen says, "Hey, I'm going to take care of this baby. I'm going to be a mother and father." Or Mr. Owens is going to be a father. And after they promise, which takes Mr. Owens a little bit of time, the spirit goes away. And after the spirit leaves, the Mrs. Owens grabs the baby and goes and walks off. Now, while this is happening, the man Jack has been trying to get into the graveyard. So he's been following. He doesn't look for the baby. He's smelling for the baby. And he can smell the baby went into the graveyard. So he tries to get in. He climbs over the fence. And he's looking for the baby. And he sees the baby. And then it gets caught up in a cloud of smoke. And it's gone. And he's kind of like, baby, come here. No baby. But someone says, hello. Can I help you? And this is a stranger. And the Mad Jack is a little bit kind of thrown off. And I love how the author says, The Mad Jack wore black, but the stranger's clothes were blacker. The Mad Jack was tall, but the stranger was taller. The Mad Jack made people feel uncomfortable, but the stranger made the Man Jack, feel uncomfortable. And so there's this comparison. It seems like the stranger is a little bit more dangerous or scary or whatever than the Man Jack. But the stranger starts saying, I think you're confused. I think you heard a fox. I think you saw a cat. And they start walking back down, and the Man Jack just kind of agrees and slowly, yeah, I think you're right. And then they go off, and the stranger says, oh, yes, I'm the caretaker of the graveyard. I have the key. And he opens the door, and the Man Jack goes out, and then the stranger says, and just forget all this ever happened. Bye-bye. And then he goes back. And when he goes back, all of the spirits, or not all of them, there's like 2,000 or 10,000, but about 300 are awake. And they're talking, oh my goodness, what should we do with this baby? And they're giving this reason and this reason and this reason. And Miss Owens is like, it's my baby. I don't care what you guys say. I'm keeping this baby. Well, how are you going to take care of it? Well, I'm touching it. I'm taking care of it right now, and I got to go find food. Well, how are you going to find food? You can't leave the graveyard. Oh, what am I going to do? And then the stranger, who now we learn is Silas, he says, I will become the baby's guardian. Whoa, are you serious? Silas is a stranger, but the people of the graveyard have given Silas the freedom of the graveyard. And they're now wondering if they should give the baby the freedom of the graveyard. But Silas says, if you guys agree that this baby can stay here, then I'll bring it food, and I'll teach it, and I'll guard it, and I'll protect it, and take care of it, just like the Owenses will be their parents. And that's a lot of, like, even though Silas is kind of a visitor, like the graveyard people are kind of like, whoa, this guy's kind of cool. He's kind of like on the living side. He's kind of on the dead side. Who is this guy? What is this guy? And they respect him because he's been pretty nice. So this carries a lot of weight, but they still can't decide. But Silas, he says, well, what's the baby's name? And someone says, he looks like this person. He looks like this person. He looks like this person. And Miss Owens says, he looks like nobody. And Silas says, that's a great name. Nobody Owens. That's a name that will protect him well. And so he becomes Nobody. And Miss Owens leaves, and then they're still talking about what they should do. Silas goes and gets some food, and they give it to the baby, and they're talking like, where should the baby sleep? And the baby's just going to sleep in the tomb with the Owenses. But while all the other people are trying to discuss what should happen to the baby, the lady on the gray appears. And I guess this is kind of like the person you see when you die. You die, and the lady on the gray is there, welcoming you into the afterlife. And so she's never appeared in the graveyard before, although all the people have seen her because they've all died. So when she appears, they're like, whoa, oh my goodness. And she says, the dead should have charity or kindness or something. And, okay, the discussion is over. The baby's staying, and the baby's given the freedom of the graveyard. Now that leaves off with the Man Jack. The Man Jack is walking down the hill thinking, oh, why'd I go up the hill? Of course the baby went down the hill. Oh my goodness, where'd the baby? Oh, I lost the baby's trail. What am I going to do? I have to tell my bosses or the organization that I work for that I failed. But I didn't fail yet. And I did kill most of them. And so he doesn't tell his superiors anything, but rather he starts to prepare to find out where this baby went. At the same time, Silas, he goes off and finds Nobody's hotel or room, not hotel, apartment or house. And he goes and he sees, oh, they died and they were killed, and he can guess maybe that Man Jack killed them. And then he goes back to the graveyard. And that is how the chapter ends. So, vocabulary. There are a ton of expressions from like Old English and different vocabulary words that you might not know. So please write them down or let me know so that way we can answer them. First one is insinuated. That's kind of like hint or suggest. You don't say it straight, but you kind of hint. Hey, do you know who ate all the cookies? You have cookie crumbs all over your face, insinuating that maybe you did it. Something like that. The fog insinuated into the house means it kind of just snuck in and crept in without like pushing its way in. Totter is a kind of walking like a baby, unbalanced walking. I dare say is like think, but it can also be like I dare say, like what the, like, oh my goodness. So it can also be used as an expression of like shock. Or also, I dare say we should keep the baby. I think we should keep the baby. So it can kind of go either way. Disincarnate means not with a body, not real, not touchable. So carnate is like flesh or real or able to touch. Discarnate means not able to touch, not able to feel it or see it. That leaves us with our discussion question. Would you like to live in a graveyard? Now, of course you're going to say no, okay? Stop, pause, okay? But imagine growing up in a graveyard, seeing spirits and talking to them and other things. What would that be like? And you were safe, you were comfortable, you didn't know any better. Do you think it would be fun to live in a graveyard? And of course, please make your own discussion question. That is all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.